And, of course, the mid-market teams are something I want to quickly center in on here as we get you in the second half of this brushback. There are three that I want to discuss: Twins, Brewers, and Guardians, two in the American League Central. So let's do the Brewers first. You know, Brewers had a very disappointing year last year. I mean, they did not play well late in the year with all those home games, and that was only to salvage a wild card spot. You know, they got corralled by St. Louis in the middle of the summer. They never really put any kind of rush on the Cardinals. You know, they didn't hit. We know that. They're not going to hit. They had some injuries with their pitching rotation. They traded Hader. Hader obviously struggled when he first got to San Diego, but he righted the ship and was lights out in the postseason. And the Brewers decided to go in a different direction from Hader. Taylor Rogers wasn't the answer. Stearns left. So the Brewers, to me, right now are a little dicey. Yelich, you know, he's a single hitter. You know, I have no problem giving him the money when they gave it to him, but, you know, back, whatever it might be, he has not lived up to that contract. That's being fair. He has not lived up to $222 million. That's a problem for a team like Milwaukee. You can't eat it and go on a plan B. They don't have a plan B. So they brought back Wong, the second baseman, understand that. But the Brewers right now, you know, it's how long can you expect Burns and Woodruff and Peralta, who missed a lot of last year anyway? Yeah, I mean, Eric Lauer, how much can you expect them to carry you on a day-in, day-out basis when you need some offense? And all they do is hit home runs anyway. So what the Brewers do in this offseason with limited pay resources, and of course now the head guy gone, will be very interesting to watch. In a division which they have made the playoffs a lot and won a lot, fell apart this past year. That's team number one. Two teams, number two, opposite ends there in the American League Central. Very, very disappointing year for Minnesota. I know they had injuries with their rotation, but that team was awful, and they fell apart late in the year. I mean, you know, they couldn't beat the Guardians. They got mauled by them constantly. Would they lose 7 of 8 to them in the month of September? They finished under 500. Very unimpressive. We'll see what the Twins do here in this offseason. You know, Buxton, they gave a lot of money to last year. He never plays. And then they try to, you know, basically create a path where he plays every third, 2 out of 3 days. I don't think that works either because their main guy is injury-prone. Correa, they can sit there and say the agency of Correa how much he loved Minnesota. Let me see him stay there. I'd be shocked. So from that perspective, Minnesota right now is really in some trouble of where they're going to be here, too. They've been a pretty consistent front office ball club. They got good leadership, but they haven't had a lot of results. They haven't won a playoff series in millions of years. The last 2 years have been awful. So we shall see as far as the Twins are concerned in that division. And the Guardians, too. They had a heck of a year. They won a playoff series. They beat Tampa. They gave the Yankees a push into the 5th game before they fell apart. Nice job by Cleveland. Francona sounds like he's going to come back. But eventually, the Guardians are going to have to spend a little money. Hopefully they don't trade Bieber. They got enough pitching with McKenzie, Quantrill. You know, Bieber's good. They got a great bullpen. But you got to have some offense. Can't be all Ramirez. And I understand they got some young players, too. The outfielder had some big hits for him, including in Game 4 against New York. But you need some offense there with the Guardians. Kwan's a pretty good little player. We like him. And Ramirez is great. We know that. But, I mean, outside of that, Tyler Naquin, really? I mean, with the baby nonsense, which came back to bite him in the rear end. I don't know where the Guardians are going to get some offense. You know, they can do everything they want to win this division because this division's not that good. But for the Guardians and what their fan base wants, for them to take the next step, to be able to sit there and compete with the big guys for a title, they're under the radar as it is because of their payroll, but they need to add some offense. I mean, they just don't have anything there that can scare you on a day-in, day-out basis. I'm not sure if picking on the perimeter of free agency, trying to, hit a home run with some minor trade and the guy turns out to be great, that's asking an awful lot. And until the Guardians, I see them step into the deep end of the pool to really go all in to increase the payroll and give their ball club a real legit shot to win it all. I'm not sure. They can win 90 games the way they want, but against the big boys, Houston, the Yankees, teams like that, I still wonder. But, heck of it, they do a great job with what they have to work with. But to get to that next level for a team that hasn't won since 1948, they have to do a little bit more than just sort of swim at the edges.